So, in case you guys have doubt about Joe Biden pulling out, I think you need to be aware of this. What Obama and Pelosi are doing about Biden. So basically, this article's central premise is that Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi, according to many of their aides and people in Washington, are currently working behind the scenes to oust Biden. It's actually pretty incredible. If Nancy Pelosi, let me put it this way: if Nancy Pelosi helps to oust Biden, and it galls me to say this, she might be responsible for saving democracy. Like if that happens, it hurts. It hurts my soul to acknowledge that, but she might have done one thing right in her career, you know? And yeah, just taking a quick look at this. They include former President Barack Obama, who was in touch with the Hollywood icon and Democratic donor George Clooney before the actor published his buzzy and brutal New York Times op-ed Wednesday calling on Biden to step aside. The two men, who are friendly, both attended the LA fundraiser Clooney referenced in his piece, where he said he'd beheld a diminished Biden and that the leader he had interacted with was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. While Obama did not encourage or advise Clooney to say what he said, he also didn't object to it, people familiar with their exchange said. And again, their exchange took place before the piece was published, meaning that Obama knew it was coming. He had an opportunity to try and head it off at the pass. He probably could have persuaded George Clooney not to, publish that op-ed. But he didn't. He did not persuade George Clooney, or even attempt to persuade George Clooney not to run that piece. And that is very, very interesting. I think that and Banana Brains, I think that Obama has been one of Joe Biden's most fervent public supporters. But I think that there is definitely a situation here where a lot of people outwardly are supporting Biden. They're doing all of the, motions that support Biden, but behind closed doors, they are working to get him out. Do you mind if I send a link to a Bo video? You can. I'm not going to be able to watch it right now, but you can. Let's see. Also, many of Obama's former aides have emerged as some of the incumbent's biggest critics. Among them, I believe his name is John Lovett, who hosts Pod Save America. Biden has lost Pod Save America, guys. It's like one of the biggest champions of Joe Biden you can imagine. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, meanwhile, has been engaged in some more active maneuverings. She carefully ironed out what she wanted to say Wednesday on Morning Joe, Biden's appointment viewing, keeping Democratic leaders abreast of her intentions before she suggested on the program that Biden should quickly make a decision about whether he will step down. Those comments were meant to serve as a subtle green light, one person close with Pelosi said, meant to encourage members to speak up about their desire to see change atop the ticket and to warn Biden to reconsider staying in the race. They had their intended effect. They reignited the debate over Biden's viability on the Hill after a day where he appeared to have temporarily quelled the mutiny. Furthermore, in private conversations with lawmakers, the former speaker has been forthright about the dire situation the party now finds itself in. She has suggested to people that Biden won't win this November and should step aside, according to half a dozen lawmakers and others who have either spoken with her or are familiar with conversations she has had. That's half a dozen lawmakers, elected officials in Congress, talking with Politico for this story, on top of numerous other staff members. So, why doesn't she just straight up say he needs to step down? Well, for a couple reasons. One, because they're all friends. You know, like she's friends with Joe Biden. She like you don't want to be like an asshole to your friend, and this is basically the highest stakes you can possibly get. Second of all, there is a degree to which you need to do careful political maneuvering around, you know, high concentrations of power, and you don't get more powerful than the president of the United States. And on top of that, this also has the delicate social dynamics of like, and I've mentioned this before, I'll keep saying it, has the delicate social dynamics of trying to like persuade your grandpa to give up his car keys because he's too old to drive. You know, no one wants to be that grandpa. People get angry when you float those ideas. It is a delicate situation on a interpersonal level, on a political level, and basically she needs to make sure she's got all of her ducks in a row before like making direct calls on the president to step down. Because if it gets screwed up and he gets reinforced into his position and all of these Democrats have come out against him, like it basically screws everybody. You know, you get the worst of both worlds. So like it's really it's a really delicate dance. It's real aristocracy shit. I mean, honestly, what we're talking about right now is not that different from aristocratic society. Like we're talking about like, you know, delicate political maneuverings at like the debutante ball, you know, like that's basically what we're talking about here. We're like the fate of an entire empire rests on like the shoulders of like getting two teenagers to like each other enough to smooch at a dance. You know, like that's the territory we're currently in right now. Reminder, Nancy Pelosi is 84 years old and she's exiting office, you know, as she should. Do I have permission to send link? You can send a link over on riverboat.gg, or you can whisper a mod over on Discord. I don't know if there are mods over there, but links have to be posted for you, unfortunately. We've had too many bad linkers in chat. So, one last piece of info from this story, and it really validates my initial read of her statements on Morning Joe. Nancy Pelosi advised some Democrats in swing districts to do whatever they have to do to secure their own re-elections, even if it means asking Biden to relinquish his place atop the ticket. Which is why you have more swing state Dems coming out against Biden in the last few days. And then Pelosi advised those members, however, to wait until this week's NATO summit is finished out of respect for Biden and national security writ large. Some members, we're told, have already started drafting statements of what they want to say, ready to drop once foreign leaders leave town. And the foreign leaders are leaving town today, guys. Like, if you've thought that Joe Biden has been under a deluge up till this point, no. It's about to get so much worse. And my hope is that someone's about to tell Biden that, and he's going to use this press conference as an opportunity to step down. I don't know if that will actually happen, but that's my hope. All right. With that being said... Oh, also, just one last bit. For members who aren't in swing districts, Pelosi has encouraged them to take their pleas for Biden to step aside directly to the White House or the campaign so as to minimize public fighting. We're told that some have tried but have not been able to get through to the president, which honestly makes a lot of political sense. Nancy Pelosi using the last vestiges of her influence in Washington in order to like possibly preserve democracy. God, this sucks. This sucks. I'll just put the essential info I got from a nut blurb. His campaign is said to have surveyed voters to assess the Vice President Kamala Harris's strength against former President Donald Trump, according to the New York Times. Yeah, I think the Biden campaign is starting to like turn their eyes towards ceding power to Kamala. It's time for the mamala we all need. Not the mamala we deserve, but the mamala we need right now.